So I'm going to kick things off. I want to thank everyone for joining us. I know that we have all had more than our share of Zoom meetings, and it means a lot to us that you took the time to be here tonight. My name is Richard Robbins. I started the company Upper West Strategies, which developed and manages the LifeSci NYC Internship program. Very often, students, academics, and industry leaders comment on how great it is that the program exists. For that, New York City and the New York City Economic Development Corporation, NYC EDC, deserve complete credit. We should all be thankful that the city had the foresight to create and invest in this critical program. Recently, my 13-year-old commented that 10% of her life has been in quarantine. Memories of holding this event in person in the Great Hall at Cooper Union are fading. Nonetheless, it is great to join together, albeit online, and celebrate so many accomplishments in the past year. Each year, the program has grown dramatically. We were shocked in the first year that 550 students applied. This year, we have 4 times that amount with 2,265 applicants. This year, we have placed 137 students into internships at 59 companies, well over our target of 100 placements. On behalf of the Upper West Strategies team, I want to congratulate every one of you. There are many people who have been invaluable in making this program such a success. This program is completely dependent on our great host company partners who are playing a critical role in preparing the next generation of New York City's life science industry. I also want to give a big thank you to all our university partners who helped us reach so many students interested in high-quality summer internships. I'm really proud of all the work of the Upper West Strategies team. Once again, Sharon Kaplan read over 4,000 cover notes to find great matches for so many students, giving each one personal attention. Many program applicants had potential, but needed help with their resume or some other part of their application. Thanks to Sharon and Kaplan's providing individual feedback, many more students got offers for great internships. I also want to thank Anita Kishore, our program's resident scientist and strategist, for her critical role in the program. NYC EDC has done an extraordinary job in building the overall LifeSci NYC initiative and in leading New York City's COVID response. Thanks to the entire EDC team for all your work in keeping this program alive during some tenuous times in the past year, and in the fabulous support you have given us. I want to call out Nico, Carlo, Monica, who had been a great partner until recently at CUNY before she moved to EDC, and Sue, who has been fabulous in leading the team. And thank you to all the others throughout the entire organization. Every year, I end by urging the graduating interns to stay part of the family. Please spread word to peers who might apply for the program, join us for future events, and most importantly, as your career grows, hire interns whenever you are able to do so. Every year, more and more program alumni serve as hosts, something that we're extremely proud of. It is my pleasure to introduce Lindsey Green, Executive Vice President and Chief Strategy Officer at NYC EDC, who guides corporate strategy and inclusive innovation, economic analysis, business development, and innovation strategies in industry growth programs. Hard to even say that all, let alone do it. Lindsey, I want to thank you so much for all your work on behalf of the program. With that, I'll turn things over to you.
All right, you can just, next time, Rich, you can just say, I do random stuff around industries and jobs at EDC.
Random critical stuff.
Random critical stuff, exactly. So thank you, Rich, for that intro, and thank you for all the hard work you and your team in Upper West have done to help us grow this internship program. I'm really pleased to be with you all tonight to celebrate another year of the internship program. You know, in many ways, it's just another year, but it's not in so many remarkable and unusual ways. You know, we're still doing this over Zoom, just like last year, you know, and so that, you know, sometimes can make us feel a little bit down, but there's still many things to celebrate, and particularly in this industry and the work that you're all doing in your internships. You know, believe it or not, we actually did have a lot of really good work happen over the last year. We all lived through COVID, but miraculously within a year from the first case, we had several effective, thoroughly tested vaccines. I've never seen science and medical research move at that pace. And it was truly astonishing and amazing to witness. And we have those folks who work in life sciences to thank. And so it's really amazing to see the work of scientists and companies everywhere from, folks at Pfizer to everyone at Mount Sinai and, places where you all are interning, and so many actual LifeSci interns who've been involved in COVID response. And yes, it was devastating. But a lot of the work and the hard work of people in this industry helped us get through what we did. And that's really amazing to see. And so I'm incredibly humbled and proud of that. And it's a testament to the potential of life sciences. We launched this initiative back in December of 2016, and it was us, allocating $500 million to build an industry. And we thought internships were a really critical part of that, because people are always the critical part of any industry. They're the most critical of the critical stuff, to bring it back to how we started. And I'm excited to say that we've been so thrilled with the progress to date that we recently worked with the mayor to double down on it and expand the initial investment from 500 million to $1 billion, and expand the program overall, and also expand the internship program. And so that means more life-saving technologies, more growth in the industry, but more job opportunities for New Yorkers and for New York students like you. So this is really amazing. And I want to just shout out the number of partners who make all of this possible. We've had 120 plus host companies, including nearly 60 this year. I want to thank all of them for hiring and training the industry's future leadership, all of you interns. And I also want to thank our partners at the universities across the city, everywhere from CUNY campuses like Fordham to St. John's, Cooper Union, Columbia, NYU, and different SUNY campuses, help us spread the word and recruit the amazing talent that we have. And it's great to see, and I want to thank them. And I want to give a huge shout out to our life sciences and healthcare team at EDC. A lot of you know them, and Rich gave them a thanks, but I'm eternally grateful to them. Sue, Carlo, Miko, Monica, Kid, Ellen, Melissa, and everyone else who's worked really hard this year, not only on the LifeSci initiative, but a lot of them did double duty on LifeSci and a lot of COVID response, particularly everything related to the city's testing infrastructure and strategies, and then the Pandemic Response Institute. So it's been a huge effort, and maintaining relationships with Rich and your team at Upper West Side in keeping this going, and structuring it in a virtual environment, twice now, and creating life-changing opportunities for over 130 students. So just a huge thank you to everyone. And for those of you who are interns, I just want to echo how proud I think you all should be at having been selected for the program this year. We had over 2,200 applicants, and it gets more competitive every year. And I'm always impressed with the caliber and smarts of everyone and the different experiences they bring to the table, both academic, professional, and other. And it was also this year our most diverse class to date, which is something we're also really proud of, something we're already always focused on, and especially in light of COVID, we've been dialing in our focus to support equity and diversity in all of our work. And we are trying to put real meaning and walking the walk for having our interns and this industry represent the diversity of New York City in all of its amazing glory. We had interns from all 5 boroughs, which is not that hard to do as much anymore. But we had people from 40 different colleges. We had 50% of the interns come from our public universities, which is fantastic. And we had 60% of our interns who were women, which is amazing. I would be remiss to say I don't own t-shirts that are always of the variety of the future is female and whatnot. So I'm always proud of that. And it's just a great testament to the strength of the city and the amazing talent and people that we have. And everyone, you all should be really proud of accomplishing so many great things in your studies, particularly during the pandemic and participating in this internship. I know the experience probably wasn't easy, given that it's virtual and you're really in a tactile physical industry. But it was also an amazing time to be a part of the life sciences industry amidst such dynamic and heightened relevance. It was no doubt a reminder the work couldn't be more important. So we hope all of you really felt that and experienced that and want to continue to stay close to life sciences after graduation. And we'd love to stay connected with you and help apply your internship program towards your future professional endeavors, and anything you would like to do to help spread the word about your positive experience in the future for other interns, we would be happy to do that for you. And if you get to a new professional endeavor and want to host another intern and pay it forward, as they say, we would love to work with you on that. So, I want to close and get to the rest of the program just by congratulating everyone, saying thank you for participating. It's such an amazing program and job well done, again, in sort of strange circumstances for yet another year. But it's truly an honor to have this program and to see it grow and get stronger every year. And so just really big kudos to you all. And without further ado, I think I'm passing the mic, and I'm honored to introduce Arthur Klosner, the co-founder and president and CEO of Goldilocks Therapeutics. So I'll hand it over to Arthur. Thank you.
Actually, I think Arthur is going to go a little bit later, but we also want to.
Oh, sorry about that.
No problem. We want to indulge in a program custom, which we've adopted in the age of Zoom, which is doing the group photo. Because we find that candid photos never work on Zoom. You get people, either you have a lot of people with their cameras off, or you get people in various stages of not smiling at the camera. So I'm going to remove the spotlight, and I'm going to ask everyone out there to turn your cameras on.
Mute and turn our cameras on. Got it. Thank you, Rich. I forgot about the photo.
I'm also going to ask a favor, which is my computer only can do 25 screens at once. If anyone has a really fast processor and has the ability to get all 50 at once, if you could take a photo at the same time, that would be great. So I'm going to do 2 with the 25 on each. But if other people can take photos, that would be fabulous. And anyone else, if you want to turn your camera on, now's your chance to be in the group photo. So please do so. And you don't know if you're in the first screen or second screen, which means that when I'm counting down for both, you have to smile. So everyone on 3, we're going to smile for screen 1. Everyone 1, 2, 3, smile. Okay. And let's do another one with group 1. You don't know which one you are, so you have to smile either way. Everyone 1, 2, 3, smile. Perfect. And now we're going on to group 2. And I'm hoping that someone got both groups at once, but on group 2, and again, you don't know which one you are, smile. 1, 2, 3, smile. Okay, and another one, 1, 2, 3, last one, smile. Perfect. With that, I'm going to turn it over to Sharon to introduce our next speaker.
Hi, I'm Sharon Kaplan. I'm the program director of the LifeSci NYC Internship program. And congratulations to all the interns, if you're finishing your internship, or even if yours maybe is just getting started. But I'm really happy to introduce our alumni speaker, who actually interned in our program twice in 2018 and 2019. So please welcome Joseph Parzial.
Hi. Can everybody hear me now?
Yeah.
So, great. Good evening, everyone. I'd first off like to thank everyone at the LifeSci NYC Internship program for giving me the opportunity to speak here tonight. I'm really honored and happy to be here. My name is Joseph Parziali. I was a LifeSci NYC intern in 2018 and 2019, where I interned at BioBus. Currently, I work at BioBus as a support community scientist, and I want to talk to you a little bit about my experience with the internship program. My experience with the LifeSci NYC Internship program was nothing short of life-changing. And yeah, that does sound a little bit hyperbolic, but I can assure you that it's not. The internships that LifeSci NYC connects people with are not just summer jobs. They're opportunities where people can not only grow immensely as professionals, but also add to and grow the life sciences industry, which is what happened to me. The terms science communication and science outreach were quite foreign to me before the LifeSci NYC Internship program connected me with BioBus, an education nonprofit who I now work for full-time. I grew to not only understand those terms and their importance, but also gained a better understanding of science research, the life sciences industry, and the importance of our youth in the development of science and industry. Through my internship, I worked with many students, getting them excited about science, developing curricula and programs to foster that excitement. I met with researchers in numerous universities discussing their research, its impact, and how we can relay that to others. These meetings provided me with an insight into how research is conducted and illustrated just how much amazing life science work is being done in New York City. It also gave me a glimpse as to what opportunities were available to me after graduation. My internship experience also involved a lot of personal development. Before starting at BioBus, I was quite shy and couldn't even fathom being a speaker at any event, but here I am. I was able to grow to be a better communicator and also a better collaborator. I spent a lot of time as an intern talking about science with people of all ages and backgrounds and learning how to adjust my communication for different groups. I also learned how to work with a team to accomplish big goals as I tackled multiple projects. And lastly, through my time at BioBus, I've been able to see the role of youth in the life sciences industry. I've watched students gain a passion for gaining an understanding of the world around them and consider research paths. However, I've also seen others who have grown excited about science and who wish to work on creating technologies with a more industry focus. And of course, not everyone will choose a science path, but even those who learn the concepts like of inquiry and analysis, which are key in any science education, take that and apply it to whatever career they choose, which invigorates their fields. I've watched campers I've mentored in my internship become colleagues and coworkers. I've watched them develop as people and as professionals. The growth of the life sciences industry starts with our youth, and I'm really proud to be able to work with BioBus to continue fostering the next generation of life science professionals. Thank you all again, and enjoy the rest of the night.
All right, thank you so much, Joseph, for sharing your experience. I'm really happy to introduce our next speaker, who was an intern in this year's current cohort, Aisha Oza, who's I'm going to pass the mic to right now.
All right, thanks, Kaylin. Yeah, hi everyone, my name is Aisha Oza, and first I want to congratulate all the other interns on here on their completion or near completion of their summer internships. So like a quick introduction to me, I've lived in Queens, New York all my life. So naturally my favorite museum is the Hall of Science, and I love to crochet. I graduated from Barnard College with a BA in chemistry in May 2020, where I explored many subfields of chemistry through working as a research assistant and also as a teaching assistant. After graduating into the pandemic and unsure of my career path, I was extremely lucky to be offered a spring internship through LifeSci NYC's internship program. For 7 weeks, I worked as a computational chemistry intern at AI Chemi, a drug discovery startup tackling protein kinase drugs. In a short period of time, I was able to expand and apply the computational chemistry skills that I developed in academia, worked closely with experts in the field, and contributed significantly to projects for the company. Also, sorry if you hear the train passing by, one of the perks of living in the city. Along with this internship, I was working and have continued to work as an intern at the National Renewable Energy Lab. I'm so glad that I was able to participate in the LifeSci internship programming this summer. My internships and my experience throughout the LifeSci bootcamp in May strengthened my resolution to work in New York City's life science industry. Hearing from alumni of the program inspired me to really take advantage of my opportunities and to take the time to reflect on my experiences to figure out what I want to do next in my career. The panel on career switchers made me more confident in moving away from pure research roles and pursuing science education instead. The networking tools presented helped me in my interviews as I worked towards getting a full-time role. My internships and my participation in life science events throughout the summer helped me identify and interview for a role that combines my passion for education and research. And I'm excited to say that this fall, I will join Schrodinger's New York office as an education specialist and help researchers in academia and industry learn how to integrate computational tools into their research. The LifeSci NYC Internship program has inspired me to continue to learn and to be involved in the life science community in New York City, and I really hope that it has similarly impacted the rest of the cohort. Thank you, and have a great day, everyone.
Thank you so much, Aisha and Joseph. And now for our keynote, really happy to introduce Arthur Klausner, who's the founder and CEO of Goldilocks Therapeutics. He has a long history of working in industry, both as a venture capitalist, a consultant, and now as a founder. And we're really excited to hear about your experiences starting up a company in New York City. I'm going to pass things over to you, spotlight you. It's all you, Arthur.
Great. Thanks, Rich. And thanks so much for having me come after Joseph and Aisha. They are tough acts to follow. So well done. That sounds like they had great experiences and certainly did terrific jobs with their presentations. Rich asked me to sort of address 3 questions, each of which I think could probably be the subject of a book. So thanks a lot for that task in 5 or 6 minutes, Rich. But I will try to give, rather than obviously trying to be complete, just some quick hints as to some of my thoughts on the various questions. So the first one was, what's it like to start up a company, especially with my background, having worked in venture capital and as a board member and consultant for life sciences companies. And my first thought is, starting companies is hard. And if it wasn't, then everybody would be doing it. So, you need to know that going in. And as I thought about my previous roles, there's a difference between investing in a company, consulting for a company, and really being hands-on, all-consuming with what that startup company is going to do. And that's really what you need to do in order to make your startup company a success. I don't know if you guys have heard this, but it's kind of like the ham and egg breakfast, right? When you go and have ham and eggs, they say the chicken is interested, but the pig is committed. And that's really what you are when you join up with a startup company. But it can be really rewarding. And frankly, I think it usually is really rewarding. The idea of building something from the ground up to be involved in setting the company, the company goals, the company culture, to bring in the kind of people who you want to work with is a really great opportunity to do something that's unique and exciting. For me, as I went from the investing side to the company side, it was also an interesting opportunity to get closer to the patients, right? So when I was a venture capitalist, they were markets, right? The breast cancer market, whatever. Now you start to see them as people. I always remember when last company had would get the clinical trial reports, and you'd see descriptions blinded, but of the people who had the sarcoma that we were looking to treat. So it really is more rewarding in some ways, to be hands-on. And then finally, as you think about what role you might want to have, I'd say think about whether you feel like you're more of a quarterback or a coach. And as an executive at a biotech company, you're the quarterback, right? Not that you're answering to people for sure, but you're making it happen. Whereas on the venture side, on the consulting side, you're more of the coach. And either one can be good, but again, you might want to ask yourself which one is most appropriate for you. Second question that Rich asked me about is talk about the skills and experiences that are important for life science entrepreneurs. So really three points here that I'd make. The first is to know your gaps. Nobody can cover everything, the science, the business, the financial, the legal, all of that. So know what your gaps are and look to bring in on board the right people with the right expertise. And in some ways, it's pretty easy to say, okay, I'm a scientist or I'm an MBA or whatever, and what are the right people? What are the right gaps? But then finding the right people who not only have the skills that maybe you're lacking and looking to fill, but also have the same sort of vision, the same sort of drive that you have. So it's not just the people with the right expertise, but the right people with the right expertise. And here I'd say don't forget the service providers. Legal, accounting, those sorts of things. Usually they're not the expertise of the company founder, and making sure that stuff is done right turns out to be real important. And a lot of the service providers have startup packages that they provide that let you get the right sort of world-class advising in those areas without having to pay world-class fees. They're hoping the world-class fees will come later. The second thing I mentioned is pay attention to your team members' needs, right? So everybody is going to react differently, is going to need different sort of encouragement or sometimes leadership, etc. And really, I look at one of my absolute major goals as the CEO of a startup company is to do what I can to make my team succeed as individuals, because that's how we're going to succeed as a company. And then finally, on this topic, I'd say making no decision is actually worse than making a bad decision. And one of the key flaws, I think, that especially people coming out of labs make is they're waiting for all the information, right? For all the experiments to have an absolutely conclusive path forward. And business isn't like that. You're always going to be making decisions based on partial information. And if you don't make those decisions and just stagnate, right, that's the worst. You can make a bad decision and then you get more information and maybe change course. And sure, you wish you got it right the first time, but again, you gotta go forward. So finally, and this is sort of the slam dunk for this talk, Rich said, talk about why you saw New York City as a great place to start a company. And I'm a New York guy. I grew up on the Upper West Side, so my museum of choice was the Museum of Natural History. That really got me excited about biology and life sciences, etc. But for Goldilocks, starting it in New York made a lot of sense. Our technology comes from Sloan Kettering, and so we literally looked for the closest incubation space to Sloan Kettering, which was at the Alexandria Center. So as the crow flies, it's 2 miles. Can sometimes take a long time by train, but it is what it is. But being close to the place where your technology comes from is hugely important, and especially in non-COVID times, the ability to spend a lot of time face to face, and we do get together whenever we can, either at Sloan or elsewhere in New York. And then I did mention we're at Alexandria. There are a bunch of really terrific facilities for startup companies. Now you probably know them: Biolabs, J-Labs, Harlem Biospace. I'm forgetting a few. And I had always actually sort of poo-pooed the idea of having a bench or two. I always thought, no, you needed a lot more to have a molecular biology focused company. And maybe there's some truth to that. For us, we're doing nanoparticles, and it turns out you don't need a lot of space to make nanoparticles and load them with the drugs of choice. And then what we're doing is we then ship them off to our academic and industrial collaborators to do animal work to see whether they're doing what we think they are. So that's actually worked out really well for us. New York is known for the financial community. I would say that for startup companies, it's not the same. There are some venture firms here, and I think that that's growing. It's not the same as Boston or the Bay Area. We did get some money from local groups, Accelerate New York Seed Fund. I wish that they still were making new investments. That was a terrific initiative. And actually, the Princeton Alumni Angels, based in New York, were some of our investors as well. So New York has been very good to us so far. I think of New York as probably the number 3 region, behind the Bay Area or California in general, and Boston, which is, clearly number 1. But you heard some of the programs and the sheer dollars that are being devoted to New York. So, I compare. I think that New York is number 3 with an eye toward number 2 and beyond. And I compare that, and I hope that none of my old colleagues from when I worked at Research Triangle Park, North Carolina, are on the call. But Research Triangle Park, in a lot of the polls and surveys, is the number 4 biotech region, which is great for them. They got involved very early on, and they've built a terrific infrastructure. And their goal, well, they're not going to catch the top 3. So their goal is to stay number 4. And that's a pretty depressing goal, I think. But New York really has a goal to really look to compete with number 1 and number 2, which is awesome. So finally, and I'll close. I do want to mention the LifeSci NYC Internship. From the company standpoint, Rich, Sharon, and Kaylin are awesome. They really made this as easy as possible. And if there are any companies out there, I really do urge you to frankly take advantage of this program. It's really cool. You write a job description for what you want. The team helps you refine that perhaps. And then, a reasonable number, 6 or 8 resumes shows up a week later. And you go from there. So it's really been terrific. And the dirty little secret that Rich alluded to a little bit early on is this began as a summer internship program. Well, that timing wasn't really right for us. We wanted somebody in March. So we brought in Bonnie Lynn in March. And then she moved on to an internship at Bristol Myers in June. So we brought on board a second internship, Jatin Jaiswal, starting in July. So this is the culmination celebration, but hopefully Jatin's still working in the lab today. Anyway, I would just say that really do look as companies to take advantage, and it's a win-win. We've learned a lot from our interns, and we really do try to make sure that they have a good experience and learn a lot during their program as well. So that's it for my comments. Rich, I don't know if you had anything else you wanted me to talk about.